Moving on says, I don't want to feel this anymore. I'm tired of this. I need to be over it. But moving through says, I'm willing to face this pain so that it stops controlling me. Moving through is not about reliving the pain forever. We're not trying to stay stuck in one spot. But it's about letting your body finally do what it never got the chance to do. Grieve. Have you ever thought I should be past this by now? You've prayed. You've set boundaries. You've learned lessons. But then something happens and suddenly the feelings are back. Anger, resentment, sadness that you thought you'd gotten over. And you start wondering, am I stuck? Am I doing healing wrong? Will I ever be healed? Today I'm talking about why trying to move on too quickly can actually keep you stuck and what facilitates real healing. So grab your journal and pen, let's get into it. Before we dive in today, I want you to know something. You don't have to heal alone. I have a free community called Narcissism Unmasked, and it's for women just like you who are rebuilding their confidence and self-worth after narcissistic abuse. We have real conversations, honest support, and every week I host live healing conversations for the heart where you can connect with other women who truly get it. If you're tired of feeling alone in this and you want a judgment-free place to heal, come join us at bit.ly/narcissism unmasked. Do you want to heal from narcissistic abuse, but you struggle with self-doubt and second-guessing everything? If so, you're in the right place. I'm Takia, mom, coach, and your survivor friend. Here we mix faith, real talk, and practical tools to restore confidence and self-worth. So if you're ready to rebuild your confidence and finally feel at peace, take a deep breath. Exhale now. Let's heal for real. When I first told God that I wanted to heal, it seemed like He answered that prayer almost immediately. People and resources were showing up. I had support. And honestly, I figured in 3 to 6 months, I'll be back to normal. I was learning, growing. I felt hopeful. I really felt like, I'm on the right track. But then I started noticing something. My daughter would do some small things, completely innocent, but they would remind me of her father. And suddenly I would have this resentment rising up in me. And I couldn't figure out why, because I knew that I loved my daughter more than anything. So I didn't know why I was having such strong feelings. And I hated it. I felt ashamed, confused, as if something was wrong with me. And I was like, oh my goodness, do I have to live like this for the rest of my life? Because if I'm healing and this is happening, I must be doing this thing wrong. Eventually, in one of my healing circles, I spoke up. I shared what I was feeling and experiencing. And I think low-key I was expecting judgment. But instead, I was met with compassion. One lady completely got it and, made mention of the fact that there's a deeper wound that I haven't addressed. So the things my daughter was doing were like trigger points. And it didn't mean that I didn't love her. I just needed to take some time and stop trying to skip over the pain. Because I had been so focused on getting better quickly. I wanted to get back to normal, no. But I wasn't taking the time to grieve what I had lost. And it was a real loss. I hadn't slowed down enough to sit with my sadness, the anger, the unfairness, none of it. I was just trying to move past and move on. So I had to learn that my trying to move on wasn't really helping me to heal. It was just keeping the pain unresolved. And unfortunately, that's a trap that many women find themselves in. When you get out of abuse, there is this pressure to be okay, pressure to be strong, pressure to have everything together to start revisiting what already happened. Sometimes it could be loud, sometimes a little bit subtle, sometimes that pressure is wrapped up in good advice. So it could sound like, you need to stop living in the past. You got out, so why are you still so upset? Talking about this is not helping you. And even if nobody says that to you out loud, it's like this underlying feeling that you get. So you start saying to yourself, I shouldn't be reacting like this. This should not be affecting me the way it is. I thought I had gotten over this. I must be doing something wrong. And because narcissistic abuse trained you to override your own experience, you sometimes give in and listen to that pressure. You keep going. You keep functioning. You show up, doing everything that you have to do. You keep pushing your feelings down so that you don't look unstable or bitter. But your body never forgets what it lives through. So instead, all of those unresolved feelings start to show up in various ways. You may find yourself snapping over small things and then feeling guilty, feeling irritated or resentful around your children and not understanding why, overthinking conversations long after they're over. And that doesn't mean that you are not healing. Something deeper just hasn't been addressed yet. And when you try to move forward without touching the pain that is underneath, it does not resolve. It is just waiting for a time to show itself. And sometimes the time it shows up is very inconvenient. So I think here's where we need to get honest about what healing actually requires. Because we hear so much about moving on. But is that what it's really about? Moving on says, I don't want to feel this anymore. I'm tired of this. I need to be over it. But moving through says, I'm willing to face this pain so that it stops controlling me. Moving through is not about reliving the pain forever. We're not trying to stay stuck in one spot. But it's about letting your body finally do what it never got the chance to do. Grieve. Ecclesiastes 3 tells us there's a time to mourn. Not rush past things. Not minimize them. Not try to replace quickly. And that grieving aspect matters more than we realize. Because after narcissistic abuse, that grieving process often gets skipped. Because you're busy trying to survive. If you have children, caring and protecting your children. Trying to rebuild your life and feel normal again. So often there's no space to really sit with the shock of betrayal. The loss of the relationship that you thought you had. The loss of this person you thought you knew. The future you were envisioning, the safety you thought was real, and the parts of yourself that you had to shut down just to get through it. And when grief is ignored, your body picks it up. So you feel it when you react more strongly than you want to. Your patience is a little bit thinner than it used to be. You feel disconnected from yourself, even though to everybody outside, your life looks stable. You look like you're killing it. Grieving lets you acknowledge that was a lot. That hurt. That changed me. So now that you know that healing is not about rushing past pain, I want to leave you with 3 ways that you can move through your healing without this pressure to rush. Number 1, stop putting a deadline on your healing. It does not run on a schedule. There's no 6-month rule. No 1-year mark. No point where your body gets up one day and decides, oh, I forgot everything that I've lived through. Your body doesn't heal just because enough time has passed. I know there's this belief that time heals all wounds. But I feel like that's lacking in a way because there's nothing magical about time. It's what you do in the time. Your body starts to heal because it finally feels safe enough to process what happened. Sometimes along the journey, some days will be lighter. Other days, something small will hit you out of nowhere and it feels like everything is derailing. But that does not mean that you're going backward. Your system is just trying to work things out, get normalized, get stabilized. And when you try to rush, that only adds pressure. And pressure keeps the pain stuck. Number 2, let yourself feel without trying to fix yourself or shutting down your emotions. I know it's easier to kind of push emotions to the back burner. Don't feel too much. Don't react. Don't let anybody see your weakness. But when you're trying to push away the emotions, the negative feelings, that doesn't do any good. Anger that is not felt and dealt with turns into irritation and eventually deep resentment. When you don't acknowledge your sadness, that can turn into numbness. And grief that is not properly expressed turns into heaviness. And when I say letting yourself feel, I don't mean that you go into a spiral. What I mean is that when the feelings, when the emotions come up, don't try to push them down or try to judge yourself because of it. Don't keep these things inside. When the anger shows up, let it be there. When the sadness hits, don't try to talk yourself out of it and force yourself to be happy. Emotions are signals that something needs to be addressed. So sit with the uncomfortable feelings and ask the hard questions. Number 3, give your body ways to release what it has been holding. While understanding what you've gone through is important, that insight alone is not the same as releasing. When your body has been used to holding so much stress, grief, anger, sadness, it needs a safe space and some signals to show that it's safe to let go. So some ways of release may look like writing honestly, letting everything flow. Don't try to get the perfect grammar, the perfect words. Write as it comes. Praying without shaming yourself or explaining it away. And let me tell you, for me, I love this. Like, you ever had a real good cry? Oh my goodness, I love a good cry. Because afterwards, there's such a release that you can't really explain. Another thing you can try is moving your body. Get walking. Dance a little. Shake. Stretch. Get moving. Take a rest without telling yourself that you're lazy. And this one is really good because we need community in general, but especially when we are healing. Try talking to somebody who's not going to rush you or minimize your experience. Whether it's a trusted friend, a peer support group, a coach, a therapist. Because this is how your system starts to learn that it doesn't have to stay braced all the time for danger anymore. And one more thing that I want to add in here. Jumping into another relationship is not proof of healing. I know in this world of social media, we into optics and all these different things. But sometimes it's just a way to put on a mask, a way to avoid being alone with your unresolved pain. But when you give yourself space and time to heal, understand what went wrong, you won't be repeating the same things with somebody else. So, if you're still affected, it doesn't mean that you're failing. Healing is not about pretending that everything is fine. It's not about proving how strong you are or how fast you've moved on. It's about giving yourself permission to slow down enough to feel what was never safe to feel before and to process the deep pain, address the wounds that need tending to. That's how pain loses its grip. How your reactions start to soften and how your body finally gets some rest. You don't need to hurry this. You don't need to perform healing. And you don't need to impress anybody with how over it you are. You are allowed to heal at your own pace. And that, my friend, is not weakness. It is wisdom. If today's episode hit home for you, I would love to see you inside Narcissism Unmasked. It's my free community where women healing from narcissistic abuse come together to talk honestly, rebuild their confidence, and support each other through the hard stuff. Remember those weekly life healing conversations I mentioned? That's where real connection and breakthrough happens. You're not just listening to a podcast. You're a part of something real. Join us at bit.ly/Narcissism Unmasked. And if you want to stay connected between episodes, become an insider. You'll get weekly emails with new podcast drops, healing tips, and first access to anything special I'm working on. Sign up today at bit.ly/Confidence Insiders. Hey friends! I hope today's episode taught you something or gave you a boost. If it did, would you take a couple seconds and share it with someone who's ready to heal from narcissistic abuse? And while you're at it, would you please leave me a quick review on Apple Podcasts? It really thrills me to know that other women are being helped. Now go ahead, stretch or grab that snack. I'll see you in our next episode.